and welcome to the Raptor Show powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, William Liu, joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. Alex, we finally get to be in here after a Raptors win. The vibe is totally different.
Oh, we're in here after a 2-game win streak. The city is on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Leafs lost, the Argos lost, but we know there's a basketball town.
This man said the Argos lost.
Listen, man, you know, any championship, I'll take any championship in the city, right?
Fair enough.
But Toronto Raptors erased the memories of their opening night loss against the Wizards yesterday with a second straight win. Also a second straight win against the Wizards this season, 102-90. So it turns out when you sub in Pascal Siakam and you sub out a Lupe Fiasco halftime performance, that is the difference. So they're now 2-2 on this 7-game homestand, 11-13 on the season. If you want to set short-term goals, they've got the OKC Thunder on Wednesday.
Yep.
Opening spread is minus 72.5.
Yep.
And the New York Knicks are in town on Friday. If they win both, they will be at 500 heading into next weekend. So that is our new goal right now.
Yeah, and I totally expect the Raptors to get to that point because the Knicks are sliding. They benched Kemba. They really banished Kemba like he was Goran Dragic. That was really tough to see.
Kemba hasn't been the same since Nick Nurse played him 44 minutes at the 2020 All-Star game.
That's right.
So
I don't know if the YouTube audience, by the way, welcome to the YouTube audience. Thanks for following. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, so we've delivered. Not you and me personally, we haven't done anything for this, but you know, we are going to take credit. But on the YouTube audience, if you can see this man right here, that's the reason why Kemba is out of the rotation. Yeah, I mean, you know, I just feel bad for him. It was a homecoming for him.
Yeah.
He's from New York. New York's had this long history of great point guards. They finally get Kemba back, and there was a lot of excitement. And then, I don't know, it hasn't panned out.
No, it hasn't panned out. But what did pan out was the Toronto Raptors with a balanced attack yesterday and a strong defensive performance. We're going to get to all of that. But I think we should start with Pascal Siakam. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. You did tell me before the start of yesterday's game that Pascal is going for 40.
Yep.
He has just generally looked comfortable against this Wizards team. And I mean, if you look at the roster, who's really able to handle Pascal on the perimeter? His best performance of the season, he got to the free throw line. He was good in the mid-range, got to the basket. I mean, I want to see more of this from Pascal going forward.
Yeah, I would love to see more of this from Pascal going forward. And I think it was interesting to me because, you know, since Pascal's come back from injury, it's felt like he's trying to settle himself within the team. So he hasn't really taken over or dominated the ball, which would be his right in the sense that, you know, he is a very capable player. He's a very accomplished player. But he hasn't really taken that approach. Instead, he's sort of come in, been comfortable as the second option. His efficiency has been strong. He's been hitting the mid-range, hitting from 3, but he's not dominating the ball. I thought this game was the first game since he's come back where he said, I'm the first option. As I said in the podcast, I'm the lethal weapon, okay? Just like you said in last week's show. And they just kept going back to him. And you're absolutely right. The Wizards don't have a guy to play defense on Pascal. It's been that way for a couple of years because Pascal 2 years ago set his career high 44 against the Wizards. Last year, he matched that career high 44 against the Wizards. And this game, it wasn't 44, but first half, he had 24. He was cooking them. And again, you look at the options they have. It's Kyle Kuzma, whose nickname is Kyle Puzma. Okay, and then there's a guy.
Why are you doing this?
There's a guy named Denny Advia coming off the bench, and his name's literally Denny's, man. He was feasting on him like breakfast. So, yeah, it was easy for Pascal last night. He could have gotten to 40 if he really wanted to, but the Raptors were really in control the second half. And I just love watching that because, look, I think for me, I don't want Pascal as like the clear-cut number one option. Every game you go through him and play everything through him and stuff like that. I think even when he's fully healthy and ready, I don't like feel the most confident in that approach, because we have seen some limitations in that front. But what I like to see from the Raptors is a balanced attack in terms of who has the advantage that night, go through that guy. You know, we've seen Fred definitely at various points this season being the number one guy. We've seen OG at times this season being the number one guy. MSG, that was a great game for him against the Knicks. 36 points. And I think Pascal will have some advantages there too, and especially with teams that don't have a great one-on-one defender, especially in the forward spot. Pascal's able to shoot over the top of a lot of these guys, get to wherever he wants. I think the mid-range game is really clicking for him right now. He looks really comfortable in that area. And, against a team like the Wizards who, Nick mentioned this, Pascal did a really good job of sensing where the defense was coming from. There's a help defender usually coming towards him if you're the primary option. And the thing is, you need to be aware at all times as to where the help's going to come from, and either you're going to beat that by spinning away from the help, or at least going quicker before the help gets to you, or when the help comes to you, you have to make the right pass. I thought Pascal did both things really well last night. To be honest, it wasn't a lot of help from the Wizards, maybe a little bit at the basket, but Pascal was just cooking them all night, and it's great to see. I think it's a nice reminder, and you know, I don't know if you have this in a rundown, but did you know the secret to Pascal's success last night?
Yeah, I have everything in the rundown.
Okay,
Super producer of the Raptor Show.
Damn.
With Will Liu.
Award-winning.
Award-winning, Pulitzer Prize, cover story in stores now.
Definitely. How do we not have a copy of that on the table?
Grab a copy for your holidays. Pascal Siakam said after the game that he gave all the credit to his niece. He said it was the first time on Saturday this weekend that he saw his niece, and apparently she peed on him. This is just Pascal Siakam's words. And
by the way, the niece is 2 months old.
The niece is 2 months old, and he called it the Fred Jr. effect. So there's your humble hustle. You know, Pascal had his best game of the season, and gave credit. This is me. You know, when I have a good show, I give all credit to the big man upstairs, Dan Toman.
Okay.
And the other big man upstairs, Greg Sansoni.
Yeah.
Ryan Fabro. All right, that's enough of the org chart. So Pascal was great.
Why are you listing off the org chart?
I don't know, man.
Confused.
That's just me. So we got to get to your boy, Chris Boucher.
Oh, that's right.
As
Correct.
well.
Yes.
Chris Boucher with a strong performance off the bench yesterday. What did you see from Chris that you liked?
Yeah, I mean, I liked just how aggressive he was in going to the basket. Actually, the post-game interview with Chris, which I'm never a part of, by the way, just for obvious reasons. But the post-game interview with Chris was really revealing, and I really suggest people to go online and find and then listen to it, because he was very open, he was very candid, and he was very thoughtful in the sense that he talked about how, you know, he's been watching so much more film of late, and he's like, well, I've been mad sometimes I don't play, but then I watch the film, and I'm like, okay, I get why I'm not playing. Which I feel like for a lot of players wouldn't say that, right? But I think obviously with Chris, he's been struggling. He talked about also that he's been looking for the three-point shot too much, way too much. And for him, the three-point shot isn't dropping at all this season. I think he's still below 20%, right? So
hold on, he's still below 20.
When has he been above 20? Hold on. You know what? We are a fact-based show.
Only on Tuesdays with Blake Murphy. Tune in tomorrow. Actually, I was on NBA.com/stats today. Not to brag.
I'm on PBP
Not to brag,
stats.
but I got a couple stats in the second segment for you. You're not ready, man.
No, I'm ready because you told me about it. Yeah, Chris Boucher is at 18.5% from three. You know, so clearly that's not working for him. And, you know, he would talk about, he would come into the game, he would look for the three, he would take it, he would miss it, and he'd be like, oh, man, and he'd get down on himself. But the thing is with Chris, like, he's effective playing towards the basket. He's more effective going, you know, towards the basket, off screen and roll, slipping those plays, or, you know, screening off ball and then slipping to the basket. Like, he has that in his game, and I don't think he's been using it to a great extent. So last night against the Wizards, I mean, he was really strong off the bench, carried their bench scoring. Honestly, was pretty good defensively as well, because, you know, Montrezl Harrell is a very tough cover, especially off the bench. And he did a pretty good job of keeping Montrezl quiet. And, yeah, I think really what stood out to me was a two-man game between him and Delano Banton. Delano just had a really nice game last night, and then he woke up in the morning, went straight back to Scotiabank for 11 a.m., came off the bench and had 30 for the 905 as they beat the Go-Go City Wizards, I want to say.
I'm pretty sure you butchered every single part of that name, but
that's fair.
It's fine.
Yeah, anyway, Delano was cooking last night and also tonight. But, yeah, I thought Delano just found him for 3 or 4 nice sequences where Chris was back cutting or slipping to the basket or just rolling to the basket. And, yeah, that's why I want to see Chris, like, continue to try to prioritize. Like, make the rim the priority, make the hustle plays the priority, and then if the threes come, then that's fine. But last night he only took 1 3. I'm sure he has more opportunities than that to just jack up a 3. But I liked his approach a lot last night. And I also think that for him, playing center, the more he plays center, the more productive he's going to be offensively. Because what we're seeing this season is Chris's transition to playing more of a 4 kind of role, which means he's playing a lot more on the wing. He's not involved in the pick and roll as much because you're usually screening with the biggest guy on the floor, usually your non-shooter, and that's usually Kem. And so I think for Chris, when he is playing the 5 right now with Kem out, with knee swelling that just refuses to go away, he can be effective in that role, especially offensively. Now, the thing is you have to figure out how to cover for him defensively because you need more guys to sort of make up that gap because he can be exploited defensively at center. But the Raptors have done a really good job right now of stacking the team with like 3 or 4 6'9" guys playing on the floor at once. So you can show a crowd, you can show help when your point guard is 6'9" like Delano Banton.
Yeah, for sure. And Chris Boucher after the game gave credit to longtime Raptors trainer Ray Chow.
Yep.
Shout outs, Asian Heritage Month coming in May.
Every month on this show.
Yeah, he said Ray actually put him on a new routine of pregame meditation to clear his head.
Right, yeah.
And a lot of NBA players have done this. I know Jamal Murray has been one of the more outspoken guys about that. Malcolm Brogdon has talked about this as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris, after the game, he said, quote, Ray just felt like there was so much going on in my mind.
Yeah.
And, this was the thing to clear him up. And listen, like for all the criticism that we've given Chris, and, rightfully so, I think, because he's struggled so much in this first quarter of the season. I do think, it's important to keep these things in mind, right? Like when these players are struggling, they're obviously going through a lot, dealing with the criticism, dealing with the pressures of being an NBA player. So I really do genuinely hope this can get Chris on the right track, because Chris Boucher being a contributor off the bench changes a lot of things for this Raptors team.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's the guy with the most upside coming off the bench. I think in terms of most consistent, that would probably be Utah. You know exactly what he's going to do, and I thought last night he did a really good job covering Davis Bertans, who, by the way, you just kept saying from the booth, you're like, he's trash. Can't believe he makes OG money. He
makes
trash.
OG money. Think about the players that make OG money in this league. There's Luke Kennard, makes OG type money. Davis Bertans, and you told me you would rather have Svi than Bertans.
I would, yeah.
Yeah.
Bertans is very one-dimensional.
This guy's not even starting on this team.
He shouldn't start. He was 1 of 7 last
Playing
night.
as much as Isaiah Todd. Can we talk about all these Isaiahs in the league with 2 first names? We got Isaiah Joe, Isaiah Todd.
Yeah, keep going.
Where's, Isaiah John?
This guy's just making up names now.
I don't know, man.
Isaiah Steve.
I don't have his number, but I think Chris, and we'll talk a little bit more about the overall bench contributions in the second segment. And shouts to the YouTube audience as well. I know you guys have a lot of questions and stuff. We'll try to get to them and stuff.
No promises.
We do pack the show with a lot of content, but I'm sure we can we'll find a rhythm with it, most definitely. So appreciate. Someone wanted to know my go-to bubble tea order. That would be a taro smoothie. Yeah, so
a taro smoothie.
Yeah, what about you?
Probably
this
like
guy
a
doesn't even
lychee,
drink bubble tea.
Nah, lychee green tea. I like grass jelly.
Yeah. And most of the comments are just Will's head is massive.
Yeah.
How did you fit into this hat?
It's squeezing. It's like squeezing all the blood
It's like squeezing into a pair of shoes. You need like one of those things where you have to like clip your head open.
I need a shoehorn, but for my head.
you need
a head horn.
You need a head horn.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm so happy we're back on YouTube, man. This is great. I love being roasted. This is great, man. Thanks for sticking with us. Obviously, it took us a while to get on, but I think everybody is really excited to see us on the YouTube platform.
For sure. I'm watching myself right now.
So, okay, all right. As usual, to be honest.
Couple of other things from last night. So this was the 8th annual Giants of Africa night. I believe Adam Silver and Mark Tatum, if they weren't at the game, they were definitely in the city.
Oh, they were at the game.
Yeah, they were at the game. Which explains why Precious Achiuwa was called for a foul 1 second into the game yesterday from the opening tip.
Who calls a foul on the jump ball for the opening tip? Yo, who cares? Who cares? Every team's going to get the ball twice in the 4 quarters. Who cares who wins the jump ball? And you're going to call a foul on that, man. Again, these referees got like too much to do. Like, please take a break.
Yeah, it was also Japan Day yesterday. Raptors
yes, it was.
Japan Day. Shout outs to my guy Teru Akeda, who we had on the Saturday Raptors show. He conducted a Q&A with Yuta Watanabe after. I know you snuck downstairs. You did your reaction podcast, and then you were able to take part or at least watch part of the Q&A. I think Teru was telling me there was about 400 Japanese fans in the building yesterday. We also saw, obviously, an increase in Japanese media that was at the game yesterday. They were actually sitting right below us in the 600s. And, I'm sure they're familiar with you, Will, but they saw the new they saw the real Williamson yesterday.
Nah, they thought it was Williamson, but turns out it was Rolson in the back room at Rolson because it was that loud.
Anything to take away from that post-game Q&A?
Not too much. I thought, Yuta was very gracious, came through, said happy birthday to a few people in the crowd, and they seemed overjoyed. It was very polite. I think, for him, it's just really cool to know that the Raptors fan base is super diverse, and there's, like the Raptors, this is not the first time they've done like a nationality-based night. Like they'll have Slovenia night, and they'll have like huge crowds, and like Slovenia is a very small country, right? But when Luka comes through and stuff like that, like there will be tons of people there, and maybe Goran will be there as well. Who knows? But yeah, it was a nice event. I thought, Yuta was very gracious with his time, and clearly he has a huge fan base, and that's the thing. I think for the Japanese reporters who were there, they were great. The only thing I felt bad for them, though, not just me yelling from the booth right above them, but it was mostly the fact that they had the media voucher and they spent it on the arena sushi. And really, at first, I was like, "Damn, this can't be what they're treated to here." Is the really cold refrigerated sushi that is not worth it for me. But they did go 12 for 12, so they must have been hungry in terms of the pieces.
Yeah, I think this is a good segue.
This is the
to talk about.
This is the stats you come for. This is what happens when I go to the arena. I'll give you stats on how many pieces of sushi.
It's a good segue to segue into what kind of spread I had yesterday.
Oh yeah, you were at
the game.
No, you were in the bag.
Yeah, I was in the wrong bag though. So I used my $25 voucher. I had another $25 voucher from another day.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm being banned from the arena by MLS.
No. You're just stacking them up. That's okay.
Yeah. It's the immigrant mentality.
Is it?
So
no, this is not it. This is not it, by the way. But go ahead, man. List off your stats from last night.
Yeah, I had a kale salad from Freshie.
Yep.
I had one piece of salmon nigiri from Ito Sushi,
which was $6, by the way. You told me you opened it up and you were like, "This is the whole thing." The box was like big enough to fit like 12 pieces.
They said, "I hope you're hungry." For nothing.
And then they gave you one piece.
Yeah, sushi burrito. You gave me a doubles from Leela's.
Yeah.
I had Mars chocolate bites, 2 slices of pizza. Fisherman's Friend cherry flavor from you, 1 Diet Coke, 1 Earl Grey tea, 1 water. And to work it all off, I walked the stairs from the 600s down to the 100s at halftime. I walked back down and up 3 times.
I'm the lethal weapon. I do not finish second.
I finished second yesterday in my run up the stairs.
You finished first, man. You're living life. Give me your 3 stars from the spread you had here.
My 3 stars are number 1, the water, number 2, the Earl Grey tea, and number 3, the Diet Coke. I do think, I am hopeful that the Raptors.
This guy has a liquid bias.
Yeah, I'm hopeful the Raptors will get back in this playoff picture and play better, obviously, this month. But, if they are struggling in February and March, we might just got to start reviewing food at the arena.
I was going to say, actually. So first off, no more of the struggling talk. The Raptors are back, obviously beating the defending NBA champions, in Milwaukee. And, beating the former number 1 seed in the Wizards in the East. Wow, the propaganda is stretching too far here. But so, none of that. But honestly, I actually would be pretty interested in ranking like just the top items to get in Scotiabank. Because sometimes you get to the arena and you only have like 12 minutes or whatever before the game starts, and you want to be there for, Light Up the North. You know that event, Light Up the North?
Yeah, when the arena just goes dark.
And then everyone has to put their cell phones out?
Yeah, but it's only half full because everyone's either late or obviously because of the new COVID protocols. We were commenting yesterday because you weren't at the Milwaukee Bucks game, and I know that there were listeners who called in to your reaction podcast and wanted to know what the crowd was like at the arena. We were talking yesterday. It's not a good crowd right now.
Yeah, I really want to see more from the crowd. I really do. And I'm not saying that like when they're losing, I need them to like be amazing. But at the same time, like you know what it is? The fourth quarter, the crowd is pretty decent. But like,
yeah, but that's like a front runner mentality to me, right? Like you need to be cheering. Like I want these opponents to come in here and really feel Scotiabank Arena, right? Like, because like people always give the Raptors the reputation of having one of the best home courts. Now they haven't played well; they're 4-8 right now at home. But it's been a year and a half, 2 years almost removed from the last time they were home.
Yeah,
I want to feel that energy, but I think maybe just the type of crowd that is there and the type of fans that are there are changing.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, this is what I've always said.
Tickets have always been kind of expensive.
Yeah, but this is what I've always said about Jurassic Park as well. Like, I know we celebrate during the playoffs when there's those huge crowds outside, but it's also, on the other hand, Jurassic Park is all the diehard fans who've been priced out, who have to watch outside, right? So,
yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
I mean, it's part of living in Toronto. What are we gonna discuss now? Inflation. Yeah, so inflation's pretty bad of late.
Yo, I got 98
bag milk for Precious Achua. Pretty expensive these days.
Second segment, bag milk coming
I
up.
can't even talk about bag milk right now.
No,
we gotta wait till the break.
You're not allowed. Keep looking at the clock. No, just yeah, no, I 98 in intro to microeconomics in university.
That's
you know what
pretty
I'm
good,
saying?
man. Damn,
Yeah.
This guy could find the intersection of two lines.
I know.
Good for you, man.
I know demand and supply, man. Speaking
This
of
guy knows
demand,
Y equals MX plus B.
the most in demand player in the NBA right now, Fred VanVleet.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had a light night last night.
he did. But you know what? His work was done after he yabba dabba dude.
We gotta
Daniel
talk
Ga-
about.
No,
that.
He
Play.
yabba dabba did Daniel Gafford
Yeah,
because that was so nasty.
So
the
describe
crowd was good for that, by the way.
describe this play, please.
Okay, so he's got the mismatch against the center. The thing is, though, Gafford, pretty athletic, really good shot blocker. So Fred's got him on the perimeter. Gafford's staying close to him. Fred crosses it behind his back. Gafford turns his back because he realizes he had swiped, got nothing. He has got to get his momentum back. Then Fred crosses back over. Gafford's still lost in this loss. Fred drives downhill with that opening, gets downhill. Gafford bumps him. There was no foul call on the play. Maybe there should have been because that would have been a better outcome for Gafford. But so he bumps him. Fred's unable to go for the layup. But because he got bumped, the ball got knocked out of his hands. He could reset. And then I think someone else came through, like KCP tried to swipe at the ball. Fred, in order to evade KCP, wrapped it around his back and then realized that Gafford is like one step too far off of him and then just pulled up from the elbow area and swished it. And I think just the anticipation of the crowd, I mean, we were just talking about the crowd, but on that play, the crowd was awesome in terms of just, even if you watch the clip back, it's just like the, like that kind of like anticipation. You know, it was incredible. It was probably the top highlight in basketball last night, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. Fred only played 33 minutes.
I know.
Second lowest minutes total this season, next to the win in Sacramento. And they've got 2 days off before they play on Wednesday.
And I don't think he was at the 905 game because I was watching it and they had like Pascal was there, OG was there, Precious was there, Yuta, Chris Boucher, like tons of guys, you know, the whole coaching staff. Dan Tolzman was there, you know, your guy.
I do really like when the guys go and support.
I love
it's actually really it's actually really sweet. Like to see all these guys go and watch, you know, the Delano Bantons, the Isaac Bonga. Yeah, and I love this for Delano too, like this little stretch where he's literally being a productive two-way player. Like he's productive with the Raptors and he's obviously super productive working on his game, getting the extended minutes with the 905. Like I've been saying, Delano Banton is the best two-way athlete since Shohei Ohtani.
Wow.
And I think he's proving me right.
Damn. What do you mean since? Shohei's still doing it?
Oh, yeah.
MVP,
Sorry.
even though Vladdy was robbed. Is this Sportsnet today?
Yeah, I don't know.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, do we have to
You
talk
a fan
about
of Kevin Gaussman?
what? Yeah, I think it's a great signing. You know, I think if you look at Robbie Ray's advanced stats, no man, Shai Davidi punching air.
Give me
right
the
now.
spin. Give me the spin rate on.
Don't worry,
on
Shai.
Robbie Ray,
Don't worry, Ben Nicholson Smith. You know, your jobs are definitely safe when we're talking about the Jays, man.
No, but seriously, though, going back to the 905 thing, like I was just watching it before coming to the studio, right? And not only that, they had like 4 guys on the roster who were down there. Maybe even 5, actually. I might have miscounted. David Johnson was there. Malachi Flynn was down there. Malachi had a really slow first half, but came on strong in the third quarter. I mean, honestly, it was like an and one. It was a pull-up 3. It was a 4-point play. He was killing it. Who else was down there? Justin Champagne was down there. Bongo was down there. And Delano. That's 5 guys. So, you know what? I think it's great synergy. Obviously, when they play at Scotiabank, it's always really fun to see. And for people who maybe, you know, as you mentioned, have been priced out of the Raptors game, I'm not saying like you got to drive all the way to Mississauga. But at the same time, like, it's not a bad time. It really is. You can get a really close seat. You can get really, you know, down close to the players. And it's pretty fun sometimes.
No, for sure. And, you know, my nephews can attest, you know, before the pandemic.
You love talking about how you tricked your nephews.
Yeah, I took my nephews to a quote-unquote Raptors game, and it was Raptors 905 at the Paramount Fine Food Center.
Yeah.
And I still remember Henry Ellenson getting introduced in the starting lineup, and my nephew looking over to me and said, "Hey, where's Spicy P today?"
Yeah.
And I said, "That's all you're getting, man."
Nah, the only spicy pea you getting is wasabis from the
on,
the concession stand because that's
not
what this is about.
All jokes aside, the 905 is really a cool, like a family experience.
It really is,
and an affordable price. So And if you've got guys like Malachi and Delano there, like it's a good product.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So.
So, all right, I think that's a good spot for us to take a break. I'm your host, Will Lou, and you'll be listening to The Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Welcome back to the Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I'm your host, William Liu. Continue to be joined by producer and co-host Alex Wong. Award-winning. Have you won any awards in your life, by the way?
No, not even not even from my own parents. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought
Best
you were like
son?
the MVP of your team or something.
Best son.
1 out of 1.
Yeah, I'm a 1 of 1. I think that's about it. I
Okay.
mean, my mom invites friends to sit in the car with her. I'm assuming they just sit in the driveway and listen to me from 2 to 3.
Absolutely.
So she'll message me on Tuesday and Wednesdays being like, no show for you today?
Yeah.
I'll be like, as long as that message is not coming from Dan Toman, we good.
Nah, she sees Blake Murphy and she turns it off. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Nah, shouts to Blake, man.
Catch Blake Tuesday, tomorrow.
Catch Blake Murphy on Tuesdays. You know my mom is on cleaningtheglass.com.
All the time,
Looking
man.
up the stats.
You know, like 60-year-old Chinese women looking up cleaning the glass all day.
Yeah.
That's right. They want to know what half-court they want to, you know what they want? They want to filter out garbage time possessions.
Ooh.
Because that's the worst thing when you're looking at the overall numbers is the garbage time. I don't care what happened when you know, no offense to some of these guys, but like Bonga's in the game. Like, yeah, filter that out.
Yeah.
I'm
Shouts to the
cleaning the
YouTube
glass.
audience. You know, as I mentioned, we're going to try, you know, this is our first day doing the video simulcast as well. So we're definitely going to find a format where we're able to kind of directly address some of the questions that you have and things like that, get you involved. And one idea that you could get involved if you're watching right now is hit our voicemail, please. 416-413-4141. Throughout December, we're taking holiday gift ideas. You can leave a message and let us know what I should get for Will, what Will should get for me, what we should get for our producer, Derek. And also, if you have any
That's
gift
not how Secret
ideas.
Santa works, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm still figuring it out.
Okay.
I'm new to this holiday spirit. And we also want gift ideas for specific Raptors players. So again, 416-413-4141. We'll play some of these voicemails at the end of the month, and the best voicemail will get a gift from the Raptor Show. I mean, the Raptor Show is a gift every day,
Facts.
but, you know, we'll give you an additional gift.
Wow.
And also you get 5 minutes to ask Will pre-approved questions, which I will screen. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Again, just handling me like state media, man. Damn.
Yeah, you know, this is, anyways.
Nah,
So
we're not making that joke. Go ahead.
on Open Gym last week,
Yes.
Precious Achua was featured, and there was a segment that went viral of him discovering that milk are bagged here in Canada, bagged milk.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a new thing to him. And I thought I'd ask you, Will, since we're both immigrants as well, what were the things that stood out to you when you first moved to Canada?
Not even joking. And we talked about this for the show. And I know you're nervous, me saying this. Literally every single person I saw in China was Chinese. So any person who wasn't Chinese was very new to me. I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
No,
Anyway,
I
that's
think,
different. But
No, I think that's completely fair. You know, I remember the first time going to ESL class or just going to school.
yeah, yeah.
I was feeling nervous too the first time I was at school and they were taking attendance because I wasn't sure if my dad submitted my actual Chinese name or my chosen name, which is Alex, the chosen one.
You chose that?
Yeah, so the backstory is that I was playing Sega Genesis, a video game called Alex Kidd in Miracle World, which you can look up.
Yeah.
And my dad walked in and said, hey, we're moving to a new country and I'm filling out this form for school. Do you want to pick an English name? So the player, the main character of the video game, his name was Alex. So I just chose it.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a
so my
great
name
story.
my name has absolutely no meaning. Yeah.
No,
but I'm with you. You
that's
know,
something,
the first things for me, honestly, was like first snowstorm. I remember like not being able, my parents not being able to move the car out of the driveway because like we didn't even have a shovel. Like we weren't ready for that.
Oh, that's because you're from Hong Kong. I mean, there's snow in northern China, man.
Yeah. That's what makes us different.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. I'm
but
from the
same.
north.
Yeah, this guy's king of the north. And I guess the other thing was just learning new sports. Like I had never
Oh, yeah.
watched baseball before, and this was when the Blue Jays were on their way to back-to-back World Series wins.
Oh,
And just learning the
right.
game of baseball was so weird to me.
Yeah.
Just like figuring out everything. So
Forgot you were here in the 90s like that. Sorry, I didn't mean to say it so rudely, but yeah.
So the joke is, Will thinks I was there when the Toronto Huskies played the New York Knicks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for the first ever NBA game.
You actually throw out the ceremonial jump ball and call the foul on Precious Achua.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm on color TV. You know, when I started out,
Oh,
you know,
man.
we were on satellite, black and white.
Yeah.
But it's always cool to see just players come
Yeah, of
to
course, of course.
Toronto and discover these new things, because I feel like for the longest time, and maybe this still exists among some players, there's just all these negative perceptions about playing in Toronto, right? of the little
Yeah.
things. It's like, oh, what's the tax situation like? Oh, like, and I know they still have to go through customs, which is like a thing that
Dog,
players always
I
complain
don't know
about.
I don't know if you understand, but for players going through customs, it's very different for civilians going through customs. And I'm not even talking about people with nexus. I'm talking about like regular civilians. We're going on a flight to New York, like you're going and leaving the show temporarily. I can't believe you're doing that to me. I got to run solo.
You'll
But
you'll barely notice given my weekly work schedule. To be honest,
that's right.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm like, oh, Alex is just not here Tuesday and Wednesday. That's normal. But yeah, like they literally just like they literally just like check a box on they're leaving the plane. That's it. Like it's very simple for them. They're not like waiting in line like that most times.
No, but athletes live different lives, right?
Oh,
so like
wow,
the
you're right,
the
man. They
inconveniences.
can't just check a box.
No, this is what I'm saying though. The
You're
inconveniences that
like, oh, are you carrying $10,000 in cash? Yeah, probably.
man, you
But
really
I'm not gonna check that.
man,
Anyway,
you really got me defending $1 million athletes
yeah,
over
that's not what we do.
civilians right
That's-
now.
That's not what we do. But no, going back to this clip of Precious, which by the way, just a great episode idea from Open Gym. Shout out Jeff Rocky. I'm sure he and the crew there had this idea to highlight Precious. Obviously, they were able to show a lot of the footage from when he played in Memphis, the 17 points in the third quarter. That's where he went to university or college, I guess, when they say in the States. But this bagged milk idea is such a brilliant thing because for him, he was going to a local restaurant or a local grocery store in Etobicoke. It looked like he went to, I think, the Sobeys up on Kipling. Went to the milk section, saw it. He's like, oh, that's what it is. Like, it's actually really funny to think about because maybe, honestly, for me, I was like, bagged milk, I guess it's just kind of normal. But evidently, obviously, it's not. I mean, apparently, it's not even normal in like Western Canada, for example. They don't really have that there. They have cartons. Obviously, we have cartons as well. Anyway, it's not important. So he picks up the milk, he goes home, and then he's introduced to the entire bagged milk economy because it's not just you just have bagged milk and then that you're done, right? Like it's not as simple as you just crack the carton and you just pour the milk. You have to put in a milk jug, right? So there was always the learning process in terms of how to fit the milk bag in the milk jug because for some reason there's not just like it's not fitted. It's too fitted. It's like this hat on my head. You just gotta squeeze it in. Gotta squeeze the milk bag in there. Then I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but there's a milk bag cutter.
Oh yeah,
It's like a little straight blade in a little
this is like a
question
life
mark.
It's like a life hack.
I guess so. I mean, I guess if you're in Ontario long enough and you're always like, oh, I can't always find the scissors to open the milk. Let me just invent a milk cutter. So he got the milk cutter, put that out there. The only thing for me for this whole video is that he was drinking 3.25% milk. That's I don't know.
I was gonna say that's some. I was gonna say
percentage
that's
milk do you drink?
I was 2%. I was gonna say that's
2%
someone's
standard, man.
that's
Come on.
someone's three-point shooting percentage on the season.
Hey,
But
come on. That's
we'll leave it. We'll leave it.
that's not fair.
Yeah, no. That's wow. This guy's saying that's not fair. We can go through a long list. Anyways, hey, I found another 3-on-3 tournament. By the way,
Oh,
so the
okay.
Cyanide Health Foundation actually hit me up last week and told me that they're teaming up with the Raptors for a 3-on-3 tournament
nice.
that's going to double as a fundraising event for their research institute. And this Raptors for Research tournament is going to take place on March 20th, 2022 at the Hangar, with the finals taking place at the OVO Athletic Center at a
Oh.
later date.
Oh
So
my God.
if you want to participate, go to raptorsforresearch.com, follow them on Instagram and Twitter at Raptors Research. Participating teams are required to raise a minimum of $2,500 through fundraising efforts to support the Research Institute at Cyanide Health. And event registration is open for players of all genders and skill levels, 19 years and up. 19 years and up. No upper age limit. So maybe
Wow.
37-year-old me gotta go into my grade 9 high school team captain bag.
Oh, you got to go into your mortgage bag.
Which mortgage? No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
wow.
Just one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we should talk about this off air. Maybe we should participate in this. I think it's for a good cause as well. So
This is a great
raptorsforresearch.com.
cause. No, this is a fantastic cause. When you said the Hangar, I was like, oh, that's already nice. And then you said OVO to go to the facility. I mean, damn, that's like a dream of mine. I mean, even though we're in there every day and we're watching Isaac Bonga receive the Nick Nurse pill right in front of us, we're not the ones shooting.
I've played a media game there before at the
So
Athletic
jealous,
Center.
man.
Yeah.
So jealous.
You know, you don't want to see these media people play, man.
I do.
Except for the former players, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
Like if you got, if we got like Savannah Hamilton or Amy.
Savannah and Amy are my first two picks.
Why don't we recruit Savannah and Amy, and that's our whole team? Me, you, Savannah, and Amy for the 3-on-3.
The only issue is both of us are coaches.
The only issue is
We're not players,
the
man.
only
We're
issue is
coaches.
all three of you are gonna have to work for Sportsnet that day. So I'm gonna have to just show up by myself.
That's all good, man.
So
You and Blake cleaning the glass.
wow, we're
Yeah.
actually gonna be cleaning the glass. So back to Raptors.
Yeah.
So the defense has picked up
Mhm.
recently. Went to NBA.com/stats
Yeah, you teased us earlier.
this morning.
Mhm.
So the Raptors are 20th in defensive rating on the season. I narrowed it down to the last 5 games.
Yeah.
They're 7th in the last 5 games.
Okay.
I narrowed it down to the last 3 games. They're 3rd in the last 3 games. I tried to narrow it down to the last game, and the website just went dead for me.
The website said,
No
"Stop.
more-
It's time to
yeah,
log off."
They're like,
If you're looking for the last one game
Yeah, yeah.
defensive ratings,
they're like, please just do basic math yourself. But okay, so they've obviously been ticking upwards on that end of the floor, and that was a huge concern that we've talked about over the past couple of weeks. Mind you, though, the last 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Caveat is they played Memphis without Ja Morant.
yeah. Oh, come on. Well, didn't they just win by 73 points?
Sure.
All
They,
right,
they
so-
played Milwaukee without Giannis.
Still a
And
really
they
good
played a
team.
Washington team that we would say is a pretender. I'm not trying.
Wow.
I'm
They're
not.
pretenders when they play the Raptors. We already beat them twice.
Wow. I'm not trying to kind of, be the negative person about this. I just want to
that's
give,
not your role on the show.
That's not my role. I know my role, but like, I don't know. Things are looking good though, right? They're
Yeah.
slowly getting back to, I think, the identity that we thought they would have coming into this season.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the real promising thing right now is that like they've had 3 straight games where they've kept the opponent under 100 points. Memphis scored 98. The Raptors just couldn't get their offense going that night. Milwaukee scored 93, and last night Washington with 90 points. So that's really rare in the modern NBA. I was actually a little surprised when you said the last 3 games the Raptors weren't even number 1. But yeah, I think just getting back to their defense is the way this team is going to win. I think that was really revealing. Whenever you ask any player about what happens in practice, they just respond like, all we do in practice is practice the defense. But that makes sense because Nick is the defensive coach, and I think that the offense has been better than expected this season, for sure. But I think defensively, that's where they've been disappointing. And we should continue to expect this team to be a very strong defensive club. Like I think obviously holding teams to 90 points every night is too much to ask for any team in the modern NBA. But like this is a team that can make their money on defense. And if you're going to pull together a win streak like 2 games right now, really hyping up this 2-game win streak. But seriously, defense is a big part of that. And I think that the Raptors have that capability. I think Precious coming back has been really helpful in that front. He's really brought a physical presence in the middle of the lane. But the Raptors also just generally rotating really well. Pascal, Scotty, and Precious, even though there's not a true 7-footer in that lineup, they've done pretty well in some of these matchups. I thought, against Milwaukee, they effectively shut off the paint. Milwaukee, I think, shot 12-31 within 5 feet. And then last night, Washington was a little better within 5 feet. But if you expand it out to like the within 10 feet of the rim, the Raptors held them to like 22 of like 48 shooting. And so the Raptors have been really much stronger on that front. Their rebounding is a little bit better. And, obviously you need to see it more than 3 games or even 7 games or anything like that. But I want to see this team finish top 10 in defense at the end of the season. And they have the personnel to do that. Right? When you have, all these interchangeable, versatile forwards, it's really about getting your positioning right, getting your timing right, and then letting your length do the rest for you. Like I thought last night, the Raptors made a number of really good, smart decisions in terms of when to help, when not to help, right? Against Bradley Beal, obviously you help, but against, Montrezl Harrell one-on-one in the post and you had Scotty Barnes guarding him, put your hands straight up in the air, let Montrezl try to finish over you, and he couldn't do it. And Scotty got like 3 or 4 stops that way. Same thing with, Precious, same thing with Chris Boucher coming off the bench. So it's been really encouraging to see this happen, especially the fact that no OG and no Kem Birch, who are 2 of your most solid defenders that you would normally count on night to night, them not being available and the Raptors still being able to start getting stops is really encouraging to me. And they just have to keep going at it. And for them, it's a focus thing. It's a thing of discipline and reps. And right now they're trending in the right direction. And again, I had to highlight this bobblehead that you gave me about Nick Nurse. That's how Nick Nurse got on this truck in the first place at the championship parade, was because of the defense.
No, definitely. And I'm looking at the box score right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're really working the box score today, man. This is
Yeah.
the first time I've seen you. Like, I didn't even know you knew where box scores were found.
Trying to let
This
these
guy was Rudy Gay
trying
with
to
the
let
box
these
score.
YouTube people know I watch basketball once
Okay.
a week. No, the Raptors out-rebounded the Wizards,
Yeah.
47-43, and out-rebounded them on the offensive rebound column as well. And I think players like Montrezl Harrell, in general, have given the Raptors this roster problems. And
I think he's had like 10 offensive rebounds in the last 2 games against the Raptors.
We've already seen it this year. And I like the things that you mentioned. You know, yesterday it did seem like they were just very sound defensively in terms of being in the right positions and making those shots at the basket difficult. And I mean, the offense is generally been pretty good for this team.
Yeah.
And I also think about they're missing the best perimeter defender in the game right now in OG Anunoby.
Yep.
So when you add that to the mix and you see the way Pascal has been ticking up as well, and I think you saw some encouraging things too yesterday of Precious, Pascal, and Scotty playing together. Think about when you throw OG into the mix. We know what Fred can do. We know that Gary's been such a pleasant surprise on defense. We know Yuta Watanabe can
he's
provide,
been great
right?
Yep.
We know Kem Birch hopefully get well soon. You know, this right knee swelling has become almost like a week-to-week thing at this point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we keep saying this, but just let me see this full roster.
Yeah.
Let's see this full roster because the potential is right there for them to maybe make a run this month.
I mean, this is the month to do it too. The schedule is fairly light this month, as already detailed on the show in previous episodes. Like, they don't even take a flight longer than an hour until January 17th when they go to Miami, which is only like a 2-hour flight.
Right. You know that game's going to be a 79-73. Why do the Raptors and Heat always play the worst regular season games?
Yeah, no, I really hate it. Well, it's because
It's because of Heat culture.
It's because Eric Spoelstra and Nick Nurse and Eric Nurse, they love playing zone defenses on each other.
Right.
And these two teams are both not really good at handling zones. Yeah, I mean, it's always a tough physical affair. And obviously with Kyle, that'll be the first time the Raptors go to see Kyle before he comes back to see the Raptors in Toronto, which will be an incredible night. Hopefully the Raptors win.
No, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, look, they can get their defense together like this. Like, I think the fact that you have those three guys in the front court, yes, there's no true 7-footer, but the fact that they're all so mobile, they're able to rotate, they're quick, they're able to switch out on the perimeter, which is going to limit some penetration at first. I think they've been doing a lot better job of what Nick calls curling the drive. So, like, and not just guys like driving straight downhill, it's so hard to stop them, making them, take like a circuitous route downhill so that you have more time for the help to get there, more time for even the guy on the ball to catch up on the play when you're making them take a longer route to the basket. And you're seeing these small details start to come through. And I think the Raptors got to just like keep hammering it home that this is a thing that they need to stamp their identity in, is they need to be a good defensive club. There's no reason why they should be even 20th in defensive rating. They have the top 10 level of talent defensively.
No, for sure. And I'm just checking in on the YouTube feed. We obviously just went on streaming live today, Monday to Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. And the Sportsnet folks put together, they did a poll during the break. They had people vote Team Alex or Team Lou.
Yeah.
You won 52 to 48. I'm surprised I got 48 actually. Going up against you, you're like the #1 seed of Toronto Raptors media, man.
No, you know how it is when the Raptors are the #1 seed. It's got to go to Game 7.
Yeah. No, please don't pit us against each other.
No, that's not what we do on the show. Actually, I think we accounted for 100% of the votes, which is important for me.
I'm Jeremy Castleberry.
You're not Jeremy
You're
Castleberry.
Kawhi Leonard.
People love, listen.
Yeah,
man.
cover story in stores.
First of all, this is a trend that's happening now. So when we're at the arenas and stuff, I guess we're in a very visible spot.
Oh yeah,
because we're also in the same spot too. We're when you look up at the ceiling, you'll see at one point what's the section called?
What are you talking about? The 600s?
Yeah, the media section, but it says and then something else.
Oh, I think it's just, I don't know. It's the media gondola.
Something Foster.
Yeah, Foster Hewitt. It's the Foster Hewitt
right,
booth, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know history. You were here though in the 1960s.
Yeah. I was here when Tim Horton played. Yeah.
Yeah, not you drank the cup and you also drank the Kool-Aid with him as a player. But you can see us. We're like standing in the box right under the word "the." And people keep taking photos of us, and they posted us to Reddit. And I checked out the thread because I'm like, oh,
wait, they posted us to Reddit?
Yeah, people are like, oh yeah, like we're at the game, And then like I was looking in the comments, I was like, oh, they're gonna say nice things about me. There's gonna be a great confidence boost in the morning. And all the replies are, he's the lethal weapon, or like fireworks, or all your classics.
Okay, so the
people
freestyles
want the EP.
The freestyles are catching on.
Yeah.
No, I think that's what makes us great. Like I think me and you are very different. You watch basketball, I don't. You write 10 things, I write 0 things. You show up Monday to Friday. I'm a Monday, Thursday, Friday type of guy.
Oh, come on. You do your Saturday show?
Yeah, Saturday show. Tune in, weekend edition. Cover story in stores now. But yeah, no, I think No, I just want to say I appreciate you every day, man. Every
Wow.
day I come into the studio, I'm like, man, what a treat I have today.
Okay, man.
There's so many people in this city would love to be in this seat right next to William Liu. I'm gonna start calling you William, by the way. Does anybody in your family or close friends, do they call you William?
Sometimes, yeah. I
Okay.
don't like it though. It doesn't sound good off rolling off the tongue. I didn't choose my name, by the way.
Yeah.
My parents watched Braveheart and they were like, "Oh, that guy, let's go. Let's
All
go with
right.
him." Yeah,
Wow.
let's name him after a symbol of Scottish independence, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I find out something new about you almost every day.
No, you find out something
Including
new
the
about
fact that-
Asian parents every day on this show because they're very strange and we love highlighting how weird it is.
Including the fact that you look 12 when you wear a hat.
This is the first time you've ever seen me in a hat, and we've known each
No.
other for like 5 years.
No, it's heat. So last thing I wanted to touch on with the Raptors is that
Yep.
per Vivek Jacob, a guest on Wednesday's show,
Wow, big V.
Big V of Raptors.com. Yesterday was the first time the Raptors bench produced at least 30 points in a win since October 22nd on the road against the Celtics, which would be the first win of the season for the Toronto Raptors. So I'm looking at the bench numbers. We touched on Chris Boucher, obviously. Utah Watanabe.
Mhm.
I told you yesterday, we got to just always add Utah's points and rebounds. It usually adds up to 6.
Oh,
It's usually a 3-3 or a 5-1.
Nah,
you know?
you know the big man loves to do those disgusting parlays.
Yeah. That's
Just
the parlay.
really, really bad. Like
Yeah, that's
stacked it
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Norman Powell total points parlayed with Utah
Yeah.
Watanabe rebounds.
No, but Utah, I think you got to look at Utah's, and I know plus minus isn't a perfect stat. Being someone who's really ingrained in the statistical community.
Right, it's not even on
Yeah.
PCP stats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What? So plus 16 in 17 minutes. I think the plus minus does always reflect Utah's contributions in
Yeah,
a
of
way.
course. Yeah.
In a way. And I don't know, man. Like, if they need this bench, and I know it sounds like a broken record, they need to get healthy, but, the pieces are there.
Yeah.
Pieces are there. So, like,
Well, when
I don't know.
they get healthy, you're gonna knock a couple of these players out of the rotation. But honestly, for me, I know what I can get from Utah. I know what I can get from Kem Bridge. And I think for me right now, I want at least like 2 or 3 guys off the bench that I know for sure what I'm gonna get. They can set like the basis of what's gonna happen. Kem's gonna guard the rim, and Utah's gonna guard a perimeter guy and be helpful on that front. You can rely on those 2 pieces. Then you slot in a starter, maybe even 2 with that group, and then you can just take on a chance with one of these guys. Let's see if Svi's got it going tonight. If he doesn't have it going, let's limit his minutes. Maybe there's a really quick small point guard out there. Let's toss Malachi Flynn in for 2 minutes and take him out, right? Maybe
Malachi
you want some
Flynn's-
length.
Malachi Flynn is low key the guy that's really on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, no. Honestly, you hear more of DoorDash ads on this show than you do of Malachi Flynn in the game. But if you want to change the pace or you want to play bigger, you put Delano out there. Like, Chris can give you some production as well. Like, now Nick has some options, and now you don't have to burn out your starters as much. You
Yeah.
know, like this was also last night. Fred playing 33 minutes. It's the second lightest workload of the year.
Yeah.
He played 31 in a blowout win over Sacramento. So the thing is, if you want to like have a comfortable win, if you want to have a game where you don't play your starters 40 minutes, you need your bench to come in there and do something for you. And I think the Raptors have really gotten a lot of good play out of some of these guys. Utah has been really big since coming back, and it's things are trending in the right direction. I think that they can really make up some ground here and get above 500. We'll have Snyder pods back because that's the rule for me. I'm too humble to have Snyder pods when the Raptors are under 500.
No, I have a rule too. No tweeting, never underestimate the heart of a champion when they're below 500.
Yeah,
you
there you
can't
go.
celebrate those wins, but we're looking forward to the Raptors hopefully getting back to 500 this week. We got Blake Murphy and David Thorpe tomorrow
Ooh.
on the show. Shouts to everybody who tuned in on YouTube today.
How many times are we going to shout them out, man?
No, I just want to show love
Wow.
to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
And
about
shouts-
a podcast audience? What
Yeah,
about
shout-
the terrestrial radio audience?
Shouts to our terrestrial radio audience. Please rate and review our show. We really do appreciate it. And I guess personally, I'll see you on Thursday, Will.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to miss you. That does it for today. I'm your host, Will Liu, and you've been listening to The Raptor Show, powered by DoorDash on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Make sure you find The Raptor Show wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe, and please rate and review our show. Thanks again to producer and co-host Alex Wong, and we will talk to you tomorrow.